Let's go live now to Sydney SES headquarters, where the Premier Dominic Perrottet and authorities are providing an update on the weather event.
For many months, to have this flood event off the back of others makes it more challenging. And once again, our SES are on the front line, day in, day out, working through the night to keep people safe. I want to continue to ask people to follow the instructions of the SES. If there's an evacuation warning in place, please get ready to evacuate. If there's an evacuation order in place, please leave immediately. These instructions, these warnings, these orders, they are not in place for the sake of it. They are there to keep you and your family safe. As we've said over the last couple of days, simply because of a past experience with a flood event does not mean that that will be the experience this time around. So experiences in the past do not necessarily mean that the flood event will be the same, and therefore there could be a worse situation that you find yourselves in. So please continue to follow those instructions. I want to thank everybody who has been, and particularly those in northwest Sydney, where there's been a number of evacuation warnings and orders in place. Over the last few days, there has been 116 flood rescues. Since 9 p.m. last night, we have had 83 flood rescues, as well as 1,593 requests for assistance. So there is substantial effort on the ground with our SES teams working through the night. I want to thank them again for what they've been doing, but please make their life easier by following those instructions that are there. Please, we say this every flood event, please don't drive through floodwaters. Once again, we don't say that for the sake of it. We say that to keep you safe. And after every flood event, we have a number of flood rescues and sometimes deaths that take place because people don't follow that instruction and they drive through floodwaters. People drive through floodwaters because they can't see the depth of the road beneath. That you cannot appreciate how deep that water is. Please do not drive through floodwaters. It will keep you and your family safe and ensure the SES and other volunteers don't have to put their life on the line to keep you safe. We currently, across New South Wales, have 64 evacuation warnings in place and 71 evacuation orders. That is impacting 32,000 people across New South Wales. So there are a number of people who are impacted by these evacuation orders and these evacuation warnings. We probably expect to see that number increase over the course of the week. I also want to thank our ADF for the work that they are doing on the ground. We currently have 100 ADF personnel based in northwest Sydney, and we put a request in for 100 more. Brigadier Lording is here today, and he will speak to the work and the effort that they are putting on the ground. I want to thank the coordination between the state government and the Commonwealth government during this period of time. Finally, many of you will be made aware of a bulk carrier, the Portland Bay, that is anchored without power 1 nautical mile off Gary Beach. Currently, the Commonwealth government is trying to lift 8 non-essential crew from that bulk carrier. We have dispatched here in New South Wales a small tug, and a larger tug is now on the way from Port Botany. It's obviously a very precarious position. Our thoughts are with those who are on board, but the New South Wales government is continuing to work with Commonwealth agencies to ensure that that situation is rectified as quickly as possible, and ensuring that all 21 crew on board are lifted to safety as quickly as possible.